What's up, everybody? Welcome to Make Things Tiny. My name is Mick. Tennessee is a popular place for tiny homes, both with tiny house builders and tiny house communities. And they were recently ranked in one of the top 3 states to go tiny in the United States. So today, you're in for a real treat. You're going to hear from one of the current residents at the newest tiny house community in the state of Tennessee, Tiny Homes Village. They're going to walk us through their tiny home. They're going to talk to us about their experience living in the community, what life is like, and you're going to find out about the brand new rent-to-own program that's being offered at the community. So this is a great video for those of you who are looking to go tiny. You're curious about Tiny Homes Village. Maybe you've seen my other videos before, and Tennessee's at the top of your list. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe, and let's jump into it. Let's learn about what life is like at Tiny Homes Village.
All right. Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to Tiny Homes Village. We are here with Lee, who's one of our first residents, and we wanted to do a little tour of her tiny home and also ask her some questions about tiny living, what's it like, and also you have these 2 adorable puppies here. Lulu, come here. Who's a good girl? Who's a good girl? There you are. Oh my goodness.
She'll run off. So
I got her.
Okay.
Well, let's take a look at your house.
Sure, come on in.
All right. Thank you. All right, so this is the living room. It's lovely. It's large. This is great. I love your big windows.
Yeah.
So nice. So you've been living in a tiny home for how long?
February 7th, it
Okay.
got put here.
Nice.
Yeah.
And so how did you decide to go tiny? What was that journey for you?
I retired in 2022,
Okay.
and I work for the VA. I am a vet.
Oh,
And
come here, girl.
Anyway, unfortunately my husband passed away in March of 22, and we lived in a pretty big 2-bedroom house, which was in both of our names. And when he passed, the bills went to me, and he was the major breadwinner.
Sure.
So I couldn't afford it. So
Yeah.
I sold it and bought an RV, which I planned on only living in for 6 months. The plan was to build a tiny log cabin, basically.
Okay.
I bought some land in Newport, Tennessee.
Yeah.
And bought an acre and was getting ready to build on it. And a big developer came in and bought the rest of the land and was building condos.
Oh.
And it was a pristine place for a condo. I mean, if I had that kind of money,
Yeah.
I would too. So he put an HOA in there.
It was not your thing.
Not my thing. And my home wasn't fancy enough for him,
Okay.
because he owned basically the block.
Right.
So he bought me out
Okay.
for what I paid for, which
Okay.
was a good thing.
Yeah.
And I took that money and I started looking around. And in Newport, they have a manufacturing where they build
Tiny homes,
So
yeah.
I went in there and I toured it. They're a little expensive, and I was like, oh. So I talked to the VA, and first they were on board. Then they said, well, it's kind of a gray area. So I was like, okay. So I was looking to build, somewhere else.
Yeah.
And it was just too expensive, too much into it.
Yeah.
I went online and found this. Who builds this is Crossroad Cabins.
Crossroad Cabins.
In
Okay.
Kentucky.
And how did they do? Did you enjoy working with them?
Yeah, they took me through, all the plans.
Yeah.
And where I was staying, I talked to the owner and I said, I'm looking to maybe buy a tiny home, and what do you think? And he said, yeah, sure, we can accommodate that. And he started clearing brush and building it up and making it nice. And I said, okay. And then when it started coming to delivery, I needed cinder blocks, so I started ordering stuff, and he would turn them away. And I go and ask him, why you turn them away? He said, I never told you you could do that. And I'm like, oh, we had this conversation yesterday.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
Mm.
Alzheimer's.
Oh.
Early, but
Oh.
so, and then he started getting mean and cussing at me. And
Oh, I'm sorry.
so then I went on the internet and I found this place.
Yay! You found us! Yay!
And I came out here and it's gorgeous. I like the mountains, but they're not as big as in East Tennessee, but still they're there. So that's a good thing.
Yes.
Because I lived in Florida for 33 years and, flat. And
Flat, yeah.
Water was nice, but,
It's very different, yeah.
So I came out, looked at it, and ordered my tiny home. And
so how much did you pay for this tiny home?
It was kind of a rent-to-own type of thing.
Okay.
But they only financed half. So I put $25,000 down, and then I'm paying the rest.
The rest. Oh, nice. Okay, well, that seems to work out well.
Yeah, and the VA didn't really help me too much. So, but I got a big check, a $50,000 check.
Nice.
From compensate. I got hurt in Desert Storm.
Okay. Oh, wow.
And they finally, 31
wow.
years, 31 years later, I finally were compensated for it.
I'm sorry.
I had to go to a congressman to do it. Either that or you pay somebody to fight for you, and then you have to give them half your money.
Well, thank you for your service. I appreciate it.
I was a truck driver, believe it or not.
Wow. Wow. That's in Desert Storm.
Yep.
Wow.
I was in the Army for 6 years.
What an experience that must have been.
Oh, yeah.
Goodness.
God awful place.
Yeah.
No trees, no grass.
Oof.
Sand as far as the eye can see.
So tell me about living here. What's it like to wake up here and...
it's so quiet and peaceful. I was living where I was living before. They had a big flood and one of the bridges got washed out. So they rerouted the traffic through the road I was living on, which was very nice and peaceful before.
Right.
But big trucks all through the night, 24/7, it just got too much. I couldn't sleep. So I started, and then he was having his little problems. So I started looking, and I came out here and I loved it. It was, pristine, beautiful.
Nice.
I can't wait till the fall to see all the foliage.
Oh, it's gorgeous, right? When they just turn colors.
I got here in February, so it was cold.
Right. Yeah. But the fall.
I'm going to Keys or to Miami with these guys over here this winter.
Nice. So you want to show us the rest of the tiny?
Sure.
All right.
Sure.
Let's take a tour here. This is a full-size kitchen. This got every appliance is completely full size. It's nice.
There's a bathroom, kind of small, but it's just me, so.
Yeah, nice barn door here.
Yeah.
Sweet. Oh, and a full-size washer dryer. Nice.
Yep. And don't mind the mess, but big size bedroom for a tiny home. I mean,
very comfortable. Yeah.
Normally, you get half this, probably right to the bed. It'd be. Yeah. Walk sideways. But yeah.
Very nice. And then outside you're doing you have some plants and you're doing a whole new porch?
A whole new deck and a screened in porch.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
That's perfect. I love a screened in porch.
Hang up all the ivy and the ferns.
Yeah, make it home.
Flowers.
I love it. That's very exciting. Yes. Hey Levi, how are you doing?
Hey baby.
This is very nice. Oh, wow. Walk out to this view. It's just perfect.
Yeah, Mama's pretty.
Very nice. All right, Lee. So we wanted to know a little bit about the daily life here at Tiny Homes Village. So how's the grocery? How far is are all the services? How do you do with that? How does that work?
That's one of the best things about this place is it's close to town. McMinnville is, I think, 15 minutes away.
12 to 15, yeah.
Yeah. They have everything. Walmart, all the fast food, Applebee's. They have a great Italian restaurant you guys went to, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Grocery stores clean, nice. I do Kroger's. I was doing Walmart, but it's too crowded most of the time, and I like contributing to smaller.
Yeah, and they're next to each other. They're really close, right?
Well, they're about a mile away from each other.
Right.
But what I like about Kroger's is the people. They're friendly. They help you. They stop and do what they're doing and
Yeah.
help you find something if you need it. And Kroger's they're so busy and so big.
Yeah. Have you had time to explore all the natural stuff around here? The caves,
Not
the
yet.
lakes,
Not yet.
the
I came here
trails?
as a child
Oh.
for summer vacation. So I did that when I was little. My dad's from Nashville,
Oh.
and he never lost that twang. And I always made fun of him. And when I still hear it today, I kind of giggle. I'm like,
Reminds
really?
you
Really? Everybody's like, well, you're not.
You're not from these parts.
I'm from Chicago.
Yeah.
That's where I was born, Peoria. But I've been all over. I've been in the Army. Spent 3 years in Germany,
Oh, wow.
Paris, Switzerland. I went all.
Wow, you have explored.
I've
You
been
have a
all
life.
over. So yeah.
You've lived a life.
Like I said, when I was a kid, I loved coming here, and we did all the caves and all that. But I do want to do it once I get everything. It's been a journey trying to get everything set up and working, but it's finally coming together. Once I get my deck,
Yeah.
I'll be set, and then
that
I can
deck-
go and.
That deck is going to go from this end all the way to the other end,
Mhm.
and then it's going to be screened in. That's going to
Screened
be
in,
lovely.
and the steps will be in the middle,
Nice.
screened in with the.
That's going to be beautiful.
I'm gonna fix my door, but
Nice. So, have you had to use any of the pharmacies or the medical facilities?
I'm a
nearby?
vet, so I'm enrolled in the VA in McMinnville.
Oh, okay. So that's right here.
Yeah,
There's
right up the street. I've never had that ever. I always had to drive like an hour to go get to a VA. That was nice.
Nice.
And it's inside a mall of all places.
It works.
And I have a regular doctor outside of that. That's right down the street, right by that used car sales.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
the Ford
yeah.
dealer.
No, exactly. Yeah, across the street from that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I just started there.
Assurian, I think it's called. Maybe. Is it called Assurian?
Family care.
Family care.
Something
Okay.
like that. Anyway, they're very nice. The VA is backed up, so I registered when I got here, and I won't have an appointment until June.
Wow.
And I've already seen the family care twice.
Well, that's good. So,
Yeah.
is there anything here that you're like, oh, I miss, or I can't get to, or I need? Is there something? Because when we found this property, that was one of the things that we were looking for, is to be close to all services so that people can get to medical and conveniences nearby. Is there anything that we missed?
I can't think of anything. I can't wait to go to that little stream or lake or whatever.
Yeah.
It's down here. What is it?
Caney Fork River, is it?
Yeah, I can't wait to go there and go
Yeah.
fishing. I love.
Do you love fishing?
I love.
Do you know that's known for trout fishing, for fly fishing?
Really?
Do you fly fish?
I haven't.
I don't either, but I used to have a cabin right next to that river, and I would wake up in the morning and there's this fog over the river and fly fishers.
Wow.
It's beautiful. It's
I like to try it though.
Yeah. They say,
Yeah,
they say it's not easy to learn, but it's fun when you do.
It's all in the wrist, right?
Yeah. You're gonna love that. That's great. And then there's Center Hill Lake also, which is maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes from here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's a beautiful, which is where the river goes. This river, it's
Right.
dammed.
I know I try to get to it from the road, but you can't do that. There is up the road here. There's like a cutoff.
Yeah.
Somebody has a house up there, which is very nice. But that's where it starts, I think, and then trickles over here.
Yeah.
But I gotta find my little secret spot.
Yeah. So have you walked around this?
Oh yeah, me and the dogs.
You
every
take them
day.
out on a walk?
6-7 times a day. Yep.
Nice. Do
Yeah.
you go to the pond? Do they like the
I've
pond?
been to the pond once.
Yeah. How do the dogs do with the pond?
Oh,
They
they were
love
fun.
They love it. So cute. So you have experience, obviously, with purchasing tiny homes and living in a tiny village. And I was wondering, do you have any advice for anyone who is considering getting into the tiny home living lifestyle?
Ask a lot of questions.
Okay.
I didn't know what to ask, so I didn't know how to go about it. But now that I know, ask about setups and what's included, what's not included.
So you mean when you bought the house from the builder, they had a setup, but it wasn't everything you expected it to be?
No, they didn't include. I didn't know that they do 200 amp electricity.
In this tiny home?
Yeah,
Gotcha.
they do it because they consider this basically a mobile home
Because it's larger.
it's bigger than
400,
most tiny homes. I guess they do that with all of them, and I didn't know
Right.
to ask. When I initially came in and was picking out, floors and
Mhm.
cabinets, they asked me about water heaters and electric, and I said I wanted propane, and they said that I didn't say that. I didn't have it in writing,
Oh.
so they put in electric, and I had them take it out at the last minute,
Right.
So that was a problem.
So it's just clarity up front with everything and making sure you
Everything.
have everything written down
Right.
and that you understand exactly what you're getting for what you're
Exactly.
paying.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's difficult to do when you don't know what to ask. So it's
Right.
helpful that you have this experience, because then where people will know more questions to ask so that they don't repeat the same mistakes.
Yeah, because I was here in the middle of winter with no electricity,
Jeez.
no sewer,
Yeah.
no running water
Oh.
for 3 weeks until I got somebody. What I thought, well, Daryl helped me a lot. Daryl is a plumber by trade, but he does a bunch of other things.
Yeah. So
He
Daryl
write-
is our neighbor here at.
He lives down the street. He helps cut the grass and stuff.
Yeah.
He's a plumber by trade, and he recommended me somebody to come out and take a look that I could afford.
Nice.
He was a young guy, but he was here when he said he was going to be here, and he did what he said he was going to do.
Nice. So tell me about the neighbors here at the village. So you talked about Daryl. We also have a neighbor to the right.
Doctor's wife, Mary.
Doctor's wife,
She
Mary.
is a sweetheart.
Yeah.
There was a big storm. The lights were out. She called me. Every time she comes by, she says hi and winks and waves and
Nice.
wants to know how my babies are.
Oh, sweet.
And she even offered me her home to stay in when the lights were out. Her
Yeah.
lights were on, but my lights were off. And she said, I'll take care of it. And she was very sweet.
How sweet. Isn't
Yeah.
that great? I love it.
And Jessica, she's only here every other weekend, so I don't really see her too much. But
That's
I'm
our other
looking
resident
forward to having more
here.
neighbors.
More neighbors? Yes, we want more neighbors. Absolutely. Yes. All
Looking
right.
forward to. My dogs think I'm crazy because I talk to them now out loud. I'm like, they're like, how they cock their head.
Yeah. Well, it's when you start talking to the plants that it becomes a problem.
Well, they said that's good.
They
Oxygen.
do actually say that's good. They do say that's good. It's
The
true.
oxygen, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's true, actually. Hey, talk to the plants. That's
Yeah.
great.
And
Cool.
I talk Daryl's ear off when he comes and mows the grass. I gotta go. I said, okay, sorry. I talked your ear off when you came the last time too.
Well, this has been great. Thank you so much for letting us into your house
Thank
and
you.
and telling us about your experience. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Cool.
Have a good one.
You too. We are 3 brothers. We founded this tiny home village, and we're super excited to bring to you guys a new option for affordable housing. So, Andrew, tell us about it.
Yeah, so we've partnered up with Great Lakes Tiny Homes, and we're doing a rent-to-own program. So basically, what does that mean? People that can't afford the financing or can't find, traditional financing, this is a way to bypass that. And what we offer is you can purchase any of Great Lakes Tiny Homes through a rent-to-own program.
So, wait. Great Lakes Tiny Homes. What is that?
Great Lakes Tiny Homes is one of our preferred vendors, one of our preferred fabricators. They're an excellent fabricator. They've been in the business for a long time. They do amazing products, and they have a number of products and models. So
Okay. They range in price, I guess.
they range in price and size. So it's really a great program that we've partnered up with. And with $3,550 down, you can get into the tiny home.
Okay.
Start living in it as if it's yours. You have a monthly payment that you pay for the tiny home and for the lot rental.
And that starts around $1,300?
Yeah, something around that.
Okay.
So $1,300. It depends on the model of the home and how much you're
Sure.
purchasing it for. But yeah, we finance it from anywhere from 5 to 10 years. So it's a great opportunity for a lot of folks that might not have a tiny home, but they want to try tiny home living.
So basically they can get in for less than $4,000. They will have a tiny home here, and they can start paying a monthly rent, which includes the rent to own bit and also the rent part of the lot.
Yes.
And that whole thing begins at $1,300,
more or less,
something like that.
Yeah, and they start living in a tiny home community right away.
Brilliant.
Yeah,
that's exciting. Yay.
All right, so that was an in-depth look at life at Tiny Homes Village. I appreciate Lee for taking the time to give us a tour of their tiny home, talk to us a little bit about life at the community. I'm glad that you all got a chance to learn about the rent-to-own program. I think that's a really awesome opportunity. I know some of you have actually asked about rent-to-own program, so I'm glad that Tiny Homes Village is offering that in partnership with their tiny home builder, Great Lakes Tiny Homes. So make sure you click the link in the video description, makethingstiny.com/tinyhomesvillage to learn more. And also, if you haven't seen my previous videos with Tiny Homes Village, you can check them out here. Also, we've got a video coming out soon where we do more of a behind the scenes look at the brothers, the owners of the tiny house community, Tiny Homes Village. They're going to talk a little more in depth about the rent to own program and just sort of their overall vision for the community. So make sure you keep an eye out for that video that's coming out soon. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to think tiny, and I'll see you guys in the next one.